Alabama voters are choosing between a Republican accused of child abuse and a Democrat hoping for an upset win after an ugly Senate race in the Deep South. President Donald Trump's populist brand will be tested after he backed ultra-conservative Roy Moore, who is accused of misconduct by multiple women. Much of the Republican establishment has distanced itself from the 70-year-old former Alabama judge. The race between Mr. Moore and Democrat Doug Jones is too close to call. The Republican candidate has said homosexual activity should be illegal and argued against removing segregationist language from the state constitution. But it is sexual misconduct claims against him by a number of women, mostly when they were teenagers, that have made Washington conservatives balk. One accuser alleges Mr. Moore molested her when she was 14. Another says he tried to rape her. The scandal has put an Alabama Senate seat within reach of Democrats for the first time in more than 2 decades. Gary O'Donoghue, BBC News, Montgomery. Elections are rarely competitive in Alabama. It's the kind of place Republicans might as well weigh their votes rather than count them, such is the party's dominance here. This special election has upended all the normal expectations and still, at this late stage, remains too close to call. Democrat Doug Jones can win if he manages to galvanize the black vote in cities such as Birmingham and Montgomery. Roy Moore, his Republican rival, could easily lose if those rural, white, church-going conservatives stay at home amid the allegations against him. Whatever the outcome, the repercussions will be felt beyond Alabama. If the Republicans lose, their Senate advantage contracts to just 1 vote. If they win, their candidate is likely to face months of ethics inquiries, and an outside chance of being expelled from the Senate. For the Democrats, a win would bolster their bargaining power in Congress, and place control of the Senate within definite grasp at next year's midterm elections. The people of Alabama will do the right thing. Doug Jones is pro-abortion, weak on crime, military and illegal immigration, bad for gun owners and veterans and against the wall. Jones is a Pelosi/Schumer puppet. Roy Moore will always vote with us. Vote Roy Moore. End of Twitter post by @RealDonaldTrump. On Tuesday, the world's press were waiting as he emerged on horseback from Woodland to a ballot station. He said people should go out and vote their conscience. Making his final pitch on election eve, Mr. Moore reiterated his denials, again questioning why his accusers had kept quiet for 40 years while he had held various political offices. Speaking alongside Mr. Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, in front of a crowd that chanted the president's slogan "Drain the Swamp," Mr. Moore drew heavily from the Bible. "I want America great," he said, "but I want America good, and she can't be good until we go back to God." Mr. Moore was joined at Monday's rally by his wife Kayla, who said separate allegations last week that her husband was anti-Semitic were fake news. "One of our attorneys is a Jew, we have very close friends who are Jewish," she said.